Oh, that's so nice. Oh, I feel like it's my audience. Like she's watching and she's fine. Previously on Chronicles of Dania. So last year, I quit my very good job in financial services to pursue a path in creating. So for this very first episode, I'll be showing you how to make Greek yogurt lasagna. Yep, you heard right. Lasagna, but with Greek yogurt. I mean, I figured since we're talking about taking risks, why not, just go for it and do a risky recipe to start with. Hello people, welcome back to Chronicles of Dania. So in the first episode, I talked about, my journey to leaving corporate employment. So now that I left corporate employment, what next? I'll tell you what next. Freedom. I mean, after almost 4.5 years, after almost 5 years of, following a strict code, in fact, if you think about it, it's pretty much all your life, because before you start adulting, your parents pretty much guide all your decisions, right? So after an entire lifetime of following a strict-ish code, I finally had space to do whatever I wanted. I created this white space where my work should be, and I had the liberty to fill it up with pretty much anything I wanted. I mean, it was like I was like a kid that had been let loose in a candy store. So I was just going to do everything. But the very first thing I did was take time off to rest. I mean, I was like a bomb for 2 weeks, I mean, if I could afford to travel at that time, I would have traveled, but I couldn't. So I just stayed in my house. I'd wake up at like 10 or 11, depending on how late I had stayed up, watching something on Netflix. I would, cook or order out, So, I mean, I was just doing anything. I didn't want to think about my next steps, because I knew that if I was thinking about it, if I was thinking about anything, worry would be introduced, and that would cloud my rest. So I just took time off to rest, and to be honest, it felt like the first time I had actually rested in 5 years. Now, I had taken vacations, during the time I was in corporate, right? But then there were always vacations, but then my mind felt like I was still working. But this was the first time where I wasn't thinking about anything. I was literally just resting. I wasn't thinking like, oh, I needed to be productive or be creating something. I was just, for those first 2 weeks, I just literally did nothing. And I think it was very useful. It refreshed me and gave me the energy I needed for the next steps. So first thing was rest. Then after rest, I now decided, okay, you finished resting. What next? You have all of this space. What are you going to fill it up with? I decided to just do anything and everything that came to me. Because if you think about it, right, it's kind of like pasta, right? Like human beings are like pasta, right? So we're all made from the same material, right? Like pasta dough. But then we're now cut in different shapes, like how there are different shapes of pasta. And the different shapes have different uses or different sauces that go really well with them. For example, like all the shell-shaped pastas, right? Most times they go with really like nice, heavy, creamy sauces that will just get cut up deliciously inside, and you can just scoop and eat, right? So that's for those type of pastas. And then the type of pastas that are like really thin, like angel hair, for example, very delicate, very with your light sauces and almost like your oils and everything. So, but the angel hair and and the shell pastas, they're both pasta, right? So human beings are kind of like that. I feel like we're like pasta, same material, same everything, but then we're all cut in different shapes, so like our different personalities, right? And those personalities determine the kind of things we should be doing. So I told myself that for me to be able to figure out the kind of pasta that I was, I needed to try myself out with different sauces. So I woke up one day feeling like I wanted to eat some banana bread. Now instead of me to go and order it like a normal human being would do, I decided I was going to bake it, right? And so I did. And I baked some more, and then a business was born out of that, right? I moved to a different apartment, and then from the way I did, I got a lot of compliments from people like, oh, nice house, etc, etc, we like this, we like this, we like. And there were so many compliments, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. So I took a class after that. Turned out I actually knew what I was doing, and then business. I woke up one day, another random day, feeling like I wanted to paint. I had never painted in my life. In fact, fine art in primary school, I was horrible. Like, I can't draw to save my life. I'll show you a drawing that I can't draw to save my life. But I just woke up one day really just wanting to paint. So I went out and bought an easel, right? And I started painting. right? So that period for me was freedom to do anything and everything. There was no I didn't block myself in my head. There were no boundaries. There was nothing. It was just like, if you feel like doing it, get up and do it. So in keeping with our humans like pasta theme, I'll be showing you how to make this really, really easy peasy chicken Alfredo pasta. This is the dish I make for dinner because it whips up literally in 10-15 minutes. It's very easy and very quick. So to start with, cook your pasta. To cook your pasta, cook it the basic way. So bring a large pot of salted water to boil. Add your pasta. I'm using fettuccine because that's like the classic Alfredo pasta. Add a dash of oil in the water so the pasta doesn't stick together. Cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Now when it's done, or when you're happy with the texture, wring it out and drain it, but then reserve some of the drained water because this might come in handy if your sauce ends up being a bit too thick and you need to loosen it up a bit. After draining, I like to toss it in an ice bath because what this does is that it stops the cooking process, because ordinarily if you leave it on its own it still gets a bit softer, and I like the texture being just what it is. Next, I season my chicken strips with some salt and black pepper. Then I heat about a tablespoon of oil in a large frying pan, and then I toss in my chicken to cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. My chicken is about golden brown, it's getting golden brown, so it's about done. So I'm going to take it out so it doesn't get too soft. Next, melt your butter and saute your garlic for a bit. When your garlic is fragrant, pour in your cream and whisk. Now when your cream is all mixed in, at this stage you want to add your spices. Now typically with the classic Alfredo, it's salt, a little bit of black pepper, but being the Nigerian spice babe that I am, I usually like to add a bit of heat, so I throw in some Cameroon pepper as well. You can also throw in allspice. The thing about cooking is you can really play around with it, so if you feel like you want some allspice mix or something in your pasta, feel free. This is the time to toss it in. So simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes till everything just looks nice and mixed, and then you toss in your cheese, your grated cheese, to thicken up the sauce. Simmer for a little while and then add your drained pasta and toss to coating the sauce. You can also add your chicken at this point and just really toss everything around to make sure everything is coated real nice. Okay, there you have it. Chicken Alfredo is ready. To serve, put some of your Alfredo pasta on the plate. You can garnish with some freshly sliced parsley, some grated parmesan, and some black pepper if desired. And there you have it, your quick 15 minutes or less evening dinner. The point is, you have to figure out you for you, right? Don't let society dictate what you should do. There's no one script for everyone. Not everybody has to follow the same path, right? Figure out the kind of pasta you are. Do you understand? If you feel like you wake up tomorrow feeling like you want to do something, go ahead and do it. If you want to paint. It could be, I'm not saying you have to do it to sell or do it commercially, but it could be a hobby that turns into something. It could be a hobby that remains a hobby that makes you happy. Do you understand? So don't let anybody dictate what you should do. As long as you're not harming anybody, right? Just figure out who you are and do you. So that's it for this episode. Till next week, next episode. See you. Bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.